Mock Draft 3.0 here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. A couple notes that I want to get to before we start our mock draft. This is the first mock draft we've done since the Sam Howell trade, which changed up the draft order for the Seahawks. Also, the first mock draft we've done since the first wave of free agency as well, which changed up some of the team needs for the Seahawks as well. And then, on top of that, folks, the mock draft we're doing here is because we have a new draft order, we're not doing trades this time. We're going to keep it with the picks as they are. So kind of want to set the scene for you here. We put our picks into the Pro Football Focus Simulator. They picked for the other 31 teams. I picked for Seattle, and we go from there. So before we get started, I want to know, who is your favorite Seahawks draft pick of all time? Not who the best is, but who is your personal favorite that you had to choose from? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think your favorite all-time draft pick is for the Seahawks, and we'll get started with today's show. The brand new draft order for your Seattle Seahawks. It all gets started at pick number 16 in the first round. Then the Seahawks will have to wait a bit as we go to the third round, their 81st selection. Remember, they gave up the 78th pick in the Sam Howell trade. Now they have two fourth-round picks. Instead of having two thirds, picks at 102 and 118. And then, with no fifth-round pick now, that turns into a sixth-round pick from the Sam Howell trade at 179 and 192. And then they wrap up the draft with a seventh-round pick at 235. The team needs for the Seahawks now. Here's what we're looking at this point. Still need some more pass rusher help. Certainly going to be on the market for an edge. Still looking for more help on the offensive and defensive line, specifically the interior of the offensive line. The linebacker spot, looking for more off-ball linebackers, potentially guys that can grow into the position. Defensive back, need some depth at the corner spot specifically, and then tight end. I know you got Pharaoh Brown and Noah Fant, but you need a young tight end with potential to be able to bring you those two tight end receiving sets, which they don't have that capability of right now. So, as we get to the Seahawks pick at 16, here are the last five picks leading up to the Seahawks selection that the simulator chose. J.J. McCarthy falls to the Vikings at 11, which I'm sure the Vikings would just be thrilled about. Quinion Mitchell, the corner from Toledo, he goes to the Broncos at 12. Well, the Raiders take Brock Bowers, the tight end out of Georgia, at 13. Jared Verse goes to the Saints at 14. And then Terrion Arnold, the corner from Alabama, goes to the Indianapolis Colts at 15. So, who does that leave on the board for the Seattle Seahawks at 16? We could go with the unicorn, Cooper DeJean from Iowa at corner. We could go with Johnny Newton, Jerzon Newton, the defensive tackle from Illinois. We could go with a local favorite, Troy Fontanu, the offensive guard from Washington. Or another corner option is Nate Wiggins, the corner from Clemson, who ran a 4.2. And then there is the center Jackson Powers Johnson, who would fill a big position of need for the Seahawks on the interior of the offensive line and has stated publicly he would love to play in the Pacific Northwest, that he enjoys the rain. So with that, the pick is in. Dun, 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 dun. With the 16th overall pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Oregon center Jackson Powers Johnson. I got to tell you, I really like this pick for the Seattle Seahawks. And I know what some of you are going to be thinking right away. Why are you using a first-round pick on a center? Well, folks, we've seen teams in recent years use high draft capital on a center and pay off pretty well. Do the Ravens regret using a first-round pick on Tyler Linderbaum? Absolutely not. Do the Kansas City Chiefs regret using a second-round pick on Creed Humphrey? Absolutely not. Creed Humphrey might be the best center in the NFL at this point. Jackson Powers Johnson, I think, belongs in that stratosphere with the Humphreys and the Linderbaums. You could have included Jason Kelsey in that discussion as well. That type of ceiling is what we're talking about here. Mel Kiper has him as the number 2 center on his big board. I think he's better than that. A unanimous All-American, Remington Trophy Award winner. Scouting report is pretty dang good as well. broad barrel-chested frame, excellent initial quickness, powerful shoulders and strong hands, explodes out of his stance, and also has the command and ability to uproot defensive tackles. His grades, according to Pro Football Focus in 2023, include an overall grade of 84.3, a run block grade of 85.2, and a pass block grade of 90.6. So, what do you guys think of my selection to go with Jackson Powers Johnson with the number 16 overall pick? It's our pinned comment today. Should the Seahawks draft Jackson Powers Johnson? Why for yes and for no? Well, in the comment section, tell us what you think. Let's go to the third round now. 81st overall pick. The Seahawks get some help at the linebacker position, taking Clemson linebacker Jeremiah Trotter Jr. there at 81 overall. And Trotter is a guy that has shown flashes. A second-team All-American in 2022, first-team All-ACC selection this past year. Mel Kiper has him as the number 4 off-ball linebacker on his big board. So to get him in the third round, I think we're fine with that. We're not overdrafting the off-ball linebacker position here. The scouting report, good speed and athleticism. He's got eye discipline, reads quarterback's eyes so well. He can bring the wood downhill, bonk. He can contain as a pass rusher. The knock of him of sorts is he does have a weak base against the run, so something to monitor there. His numbers last season, 5.5 sacks, so he still has an ability as a pass rusher despite being an off-ball linebacker there. 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, 87 tackles. Trotter's a very good football player, and I think this would be a good fit for the Seattle Seahawks. Would be a significant upgrade, I think, taking over that Devin Bush role in the Seahawks defense, and would immediately see playing time here for the Seattle Seahawks. More picks to come here in just a moment, but first, let's tell you about today's sponsor, and that is our hats that we have available for you at chatsports.com/Seahawks hats. You can see we got the flat bill, we got the throwback style, we got the baseball cap of the current logo, plenty of different hats to choose from, beyond just the one you're seeing on your screen right now. Go see for yourself at chatsports.com/Seahawks hats. Plenty of Seahawks hats to choose from besides just what you're seeing on your screen. We're offering free shipping. We also got some hats that are up to 50% off as well. Go see for yourself. Chatsports.com/Seahawks hats. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/Seahawks hats to get yours today. The Seahawks go all in with their second, fourth round pick as they select Iowa tight end Eric All. The Seahawks have Noah Fant, and they have Pharaoh Brown. But what Seattle doesn't have right now is the ability to have 2 tight end sets with 2 tight ends that are receivers, both on the field at the same time. That would change with a guy like Eric All. Played for Iowa this year, previously was with Michigan Wolverines, and was on track to have a very good year. He was a Senior Bowl midseason All-American this year, ended up as the number 6 tight end on Kiper's big board, but then suffered a season-ending injury for the second straight year, and that's one thing that comes up on his scouting report is the injury issues. If you get past the injury issues, you're looking at a guy that can play an expanded route tree. He's capable of stretching the field. He's elusive and tough, agile and athletic, and no school on the planet has a better track record developing tight ends than the University of Iowa. So he comes from a good pedigree there as far as that goes. His statistics in 2023, in 7 games played, averaged 14 yards reception, 3 touchdowns, 300 yards, 21 catches. Not bad for Eric All, what he was able to do on that front there. More names to get to here in just a bit, but first, we want to ask you here on Seahawks Today, who is your guy? Who would you like to see the Seahawks draft? Name a player in the comments section that you would like to see the Seahawks draft in 2024. We are your go-to spot for all things draft here on Seahawks Today, as we are counting you down to the draft in Detroit. We're bringing you daily coverage with news and rumors. We're going to be doing more mock drafts, draft target videos, Everything you need to know to get ready for the 2024 draft is covered right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. You ain't alive if you ain't subscribed. Join the family now. Never miss a moment of the latest happenings in your favorite team. We got you covered each and every day here on Seahawks Today. Next up in the fourth round, we find Kansas State offensive guard Cooper Beebe. And you guys know, I'm a Big 12 football fan. And I got to tell you, Cooper Beebe was a menace in the Big 12 Conference over the last couple of seasons. He just dominated at the line of scrimmage. A two-time first-team All-American, a three-time first-team All-Big 12 selection. With the Seahawks having a need at the offensive guard spot, Cooper Beebe, he's ready to step in right away and be a day-one starter for this Seahawks team if they decided to go that route. And the scouting report, I love this when it comes to Cooper Beebe. Refrigerator build with a barrel chest. He's not keeping the refrigerator running because he's going to go catch that thing. He's a road grading, play strength, and power player. Stout, firm anchor against the bull rush. Pocket clearing presence. He does have short arms, though, which could be an issue. His numbers, according to Pro Football Focus, were outstanding last year. Overall grade of 83.9. Pass block grade of 90.4. And with this switch to an air raid scheme, pass blocking is going to be more important for this Seahawks team than it's been previously. Run block rate of 79.9. Let's move ahead to the sixth round now, and we get some help on the defensive line as the Seahawks select Jordan Jefferson out of LSU. No, not the former quarterback Jordan Jefferson from LSU, but defensive line help. A bit of a project of sorts, but he's just really starting to come into his own as we saw at the end of 2023. Another sixth-round pick, we get an edge rusher. You can never have too many pass rushers. That's where we find James Madison's Jalen Green with this selection. James Madison kind of went under the radar of sorts, although that they did pick up things, getting to a bowl game. College game day didn't end up showing up there. But Jalen Green is a guy that is still figuring out, still is coming to his own of sorts, hasn't reached his potential. That could be a good fit for the Seahawks and find a decent pass rusher there late that if he wasn't playing at JMU would probably go higher. One more pick before we wrap up. But I want to know, what's the Seahawks' biggest need in this year's draft? Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think that need is. Our final selection in the 2024 NFL Draft, we go with Texas Tech safety Tyler Owens in the seventh round. One of the fastest players in this draft, but also one of the most interesting as well. Tyler Owens believes the earth is flat, that space does not exist, as well as other planets. So, for me, that's a guy that's a deep thinker. He's obviously thought about this, although he is wrong about that. I can respect him at least putting that out there for the world and gaining some attention there. So, I think he would fit in with a lot of the crazies in Seattle with that type of mindset, potentially speaking there. So, to recap our mock draft for the Seattle Seahawks, 16, we go with Jackson Powers Johnson out of Oregon. 81, Jeremiah Trotter, the linebacker out of Clemson. 102, Eric All, tight end from Iowa. 118, Cooper Beebe, offensive guard from Kansas State. And then our final three selections, we go Jordan Jefferson, defensive tackle from LSU. Jalen Green, edge rusher from James Madison. And then we finish with the flat earther, truther himself, Tyler Owens, safety from Texas Tech, with all 7 of our selections there. So, there you have it. That is Mock Draft 3.0 from yours truly. How did I do? Get your grades in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F, and let us know, how did I do with this mock draft? I thought of all our mock drafts we've done so far, this was the most realistic. We took care of some positions of need, and we got some very talented football players. If you give me a grade that's anything less than an A, you're a hater. Spam those A's in the comments section for that mock draft. Thanks for joining us here on this edition of Seahawks Today. Got more mock drafts coming up on the channel, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you next time here on the channel.